There we go. All right. Whew. Good evening. Hello, Christine. Welcome. Sorry, this was take two. I had a little bit of echo going on to start with. So, hello, everyone. This is Lorelea Roberts from Offerings of Wonder by Lorelea. And I'm just going to get this up on my phone. So if any comments come in on the Facebook page, hopefully I can see them. Let's see. There we go. All right. So welcome to Monday Night Meetup. All right, we're going to just give a second and get a few people in. Hello, Katie, welcome. So excited, Monday Night Meetup. So for anybody who is new or watching this on the replay who doesn't know, every Monday night at 7 o'clock Eastern, I go live and I try to share a tip related to basketry, and hopefully you guys get to learn something. So I am very excited. I said I'm Lorelea Roberts. I am with Offerings of Wonder by Lorelea. I have been weaving for many years, too many years to talk about, but I'm really having fun doing these Monday night meetups. So if there is something that you would like to see demoed, what I'm demoing tonight actually came in as a request. So that's what we're going to do. All right, and I think we're going to just go ahead and get started. Let's see, boom, boom, there we go. Hopefully you're joining me on Zoom. And just go back, just take a look at my phone, see if I can see comments. There. All right, well, hopefully, turn sound down on that. Hopefully if we get comments there, I'll be able to see. It's kind of interesting doing both Zoom and Facebook, but hey, we are here. So thanks guys for joining. So tonight we are going to talk about round reed joins, and Flo Hoppy is the master of round reed, and this is one of her books. Let me just hold it up nice and close. There we go. Contemporary Wicker Basketry by Flo Hoppy. If you guys do not know Flo, Flo is an amazing teacher, and her books are incredible. They are very detailed, lots of pictures and all of that. So welcome. Hey, Sandy. Nice to see something. Not sure what to show in there. Sure, she's getting set up. So I'm going to show 3 different joins tonight. So 2 from her book, and then 1 that I learned somewhere along the way in my basketry time. I guess my basketry time. So I am going to, let me get the basket here. I'm going to come away from me, and I am going to come down there. So let's get that. There we go. Now I'm going to just put my finger here. Can you guys see that fairly well? For folks that are on Zoom, can you give me just a nod? Katie, can you give me a nod? Yeah, great. All right, awesome. All right, so I'm going to do this with a opposite color. So all I did was I did some twining, and I am pretending that I'm at an end here with one of my weavers, and I'm going to use a couple of things. So obviously you need, basket shears when you're working with basketry. On there, I'm using this. Let me just put it up nice and close. Somebody else can admit there. It's a pinching tool. So, hey there, who else joined? I just saw somebody else join. Oh, let's see. Is that Christine? Hi, Christine.
Hi.
Welcome. So I've got the basket, I've got basket shears, and I've got my little pinching tool. And if you guys can, let me put my hand behind it here. It's very, they're very thin, and they're really good for crimping your reed to be able to tuck things in. So, so the first join that I'm going to show you is called the combined join. And so we're at this piece where this one is on an over on a spoke here. And I am going to just spritz it, make sure it's nice and damp so it'll be flexible. And I'm going to take my crimping tool and I'm going to kind of lift this one out of the way here so you guys can see. I am going to crimp it right to the left of the spoke here. Okay. I'm just going to give it a little crease so that it will bend. Can you guys see that? So it'll bend nicely. Okay. And then on this basket, I want it to come down and tuck behind here. So I'm just going to trim it up a little bit. And I'm going to take it and just stick it in right to the left of this spoke. So that's the first step. So the weaver that you are ending comes on the over, gets crimped right before the one that would go under, and then gets tucked down into the one behind it. All right, I'm gonna add on with a different color just so you guys can see. Let me just take a piece here. So I'm going to take a piece of this red reed. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give it a crimp. Okay, I'm just going to give it a little crimp so it will bend without cracking, right? So it was already wet. And this one is going to go in. There we go. All right, so this first one ended right here. This one is going to go in to the left of the space. So this one went to the right of the space. This one is going to go to the left of the space. It's going to go behind the one that you have here. And for me, I'm going to just tuck it in the back. So I'm sorry, this is probably harder to see, but I'm tucking it in the right behind this spoke. All right, so let me just get it down in there and then I will show you. Oops. Far down. All right, actually, I'm going to tuck it on the outside so you can see it, but normally it would be tucked behind, but I'm going to tuck it here so you guys can see it. You see that? All right, but no, you'd be doing this on the back side, right? You want it to be in this, oops, sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. Do it here, sorry. So that's what happens when I look behind, not paying attention. Okay, so I put it in front so you can see the two spaces, but this red one is going to get tucked behind. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to just tuck it behind here. Okay, so now this red one's going to come out the back. Your other weaver is going to be here, and then you just keep going. And that's the combined. So when you have a lot of round reed, which is normally where you did this, and I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to get a lot of twill going so we could show that, but that is the technique. The one you're ending is going to end in the space to the right side of the space, and the one you're starting is going to start in the left side of the space, and then you're just going to keep going. So let me just stop there. I'm going to pop back up there. Any questions on that? No. All right. Let me look over here. Okay, I don't see any comments there. Okay, great. All right, the second technique is called the English join. And it really is just an overlap. So let me do it that way, right? You're just overlapping two pieces. What's interesting on this one, in the traditional sense, is that when you do this overlap, you do it with the piece you're ending. It stays on the outside of your basket. So one of the disadvantages of this is that it could get caught afterwards, right? When you have a basket and you're using it, it's on the outside, you're going to have an end. But I'm going to show you that. And then I'm going to show you one more method that I use a lot on the inside of the basket. It's very similar to the English join, but I do it, the overlap is in a different place so that it stays inside the basket. So, all right. So let me move the camera back down. Let me make sure we're right here. So here again, I've got one that is ending. With the English join, you're going to end this one on top of a spoke on the outside. So just cut that. Okay. And it literally just lays out here, and you can see that, you know, you think about it afterwards, it could get caught. It's not the one that I recommend. I mean, obviously that's probably, you can hear that from me, but it is a style. So to add on this one, you just take your next reed and you lay it behind what's there, right on the spoke. And again, let me just, right behind, and you go a little bit into the space. It's going right here. It's starting right about here, behind the one that you cut. And then you just continue weaving. So get that on there. And then I'm going to just put that up nice and close so you guys can see. Right here, so I make sure it's in frame. So I don't like this one because you can see it sticks out, especially I'm using some number 3 reed. I wanted to use a little bit bigger reed so it's easier to see, but it just doesn't lay real flat on the outside. So, but that is the way the joint is, literally just overlapping right on top of each other. Okay. Let me just cut these so they're out of the way. All right. The next one in her book, and I don't know, it's listed under, what is it listed under? It doesn't really have a name. It doesn't really have a name in their book. But what it is you're gonna cut so that your two pieces are gonna kind of splice together. So let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna do it on the outside, but you would do this on the inside, but I want you guys to be able to see it. So the one piece that you are ending, you're going to cut at an angle. So I'm cutting it at an angle that is going to be, the point's going to be here, the thin part, and it's going to go back that way. So you cut it on an angle. Up here. Boom. And I'm going to show you the piece I cut off so you can see the angle. Let's see if I can hold it up there. You see the angle? Okay. And then you're going to take your piece that you're adding on and you're going to cut an angle on that as well. Okay. So now the red has an angle. You can see. Okay. And you're basically going to marry them up together so they are like one piece. And I normally do, if I'm going to do this, I do it on the inside. So your ends aren't sticking out, but harder to demo when it's on the inside. So I thought I'd do it on the outside. But then you weave, and you weave a couple of things, and then you look at your join. So I want to show you so you guys can see that it kind of puckered up a little bit here. Right. So you want to like weave a couple spokes and then just go back and adjust it, get it so it's laying flat again. Let's pull that a little bit. There we go. Just fuddle with it a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to use let me get that back there. Yep. There we go. We want it so that it's going to be right on top of each other. There we go. All right. Well, it's being a little fuddiddly. Okay. Well, it's not laying very well for me. This is true basketry at its best, you guys. All right. Let me just see if we can get it to lay down. All right, well, it's not laying there, but hopefully you get the idea. The angles should go over each other and then lay. Let me just hold it like that. So it's one, oops. So it is one piece. Oh, let's see, it popped again. So this is where I will use the four-letter word that a lot of people don't like to use, but glue. And you could put a dab of glue on there, get it lined up, stick a clip on it, and let it go. Okay, so that's the third way out of Flo's book. Now, let me see. Let me come back around. Let me just take this one off. All right. And I'm going to back this up. All right. So we're going to again pretend that we are in on the inside of our basket. I'm going to cut this here. Oops. All right, let me get there. We go. Okay, so we're going to pretend we're on the inside of our basket. So this is the fourth method, and this is a method I use a lot on round reed baskets. And grab another piece of the red, and that is, and again, this would be on the inside, not on the outside, but I want to show you. I cut so that the piece I'm ending is on top of the spoke, but on the inside. And then I just lay the next piece that I'm going to add on right on top of it. So just so it's doubled over, and I hold it, while you start. Stay there. There we go. Okay. I hold it so that it is, that it'll stay in place, and then weave a couple of stakes again, and then just take a look. So like that's sticking up a little bit. I would just back it up a little bit so that they are both overlaying again on the inside of your basket. So this is normally how I do a lot of baskets. And if they're cut so that they're laying right on top of the spoke, then they're pretty good. I mean, they might catch, on the inside, depending on what you're using your basket for. So out of all of the methods, the first method, the combined, where you're bending and tucking in, come back, where you're bending and then tucking in both ways so that you have like kind of that overlap. That is the way that's going to be the least catchy, right? To be able to catch anything on. So think about what you're using your basket for, to think about how you want to join. So that if it's a basket that you're going to be reaching your hand in and out of a lot, you're going to be pulling things in and out, or you're going to have things I'm trying to think, like if you're going to use it to put like washcloths or things like that that might catch on it, then you probably want to use the join where you are inserting the ends in, because then it's smooth and they're not going to catch on anything. The join on the outside, that's called the English join I showed you, not my recommendation. Anytime you've got a basket and you move it around, or you're trying to pick something up, like you could just catch it. And honestly, that's pretty sharp. So I just think that while it is a technique, it's a technique that's used a lot with willow, to leave that joint on the outside. And with the willow, you just have lots of ends with willows when you weave with the willow, so that's not up, but that is where that joint is primarily used for. The joint on the inside, that is the splicing, so cutting them and splicing them together, is good, especially for larger round reed. So like if you were working maybe with number 7 or above, that's a nice way, because you've got enough, you can make some nice cuts and just really overlap them. You can do it, number 3 is probably the smallest I would do that with, and I would use a dab of glue to hold it together. Put a dab of glue on it, put it in, stick it together. That's nice to, again, give you that continuous look, that weave, and you don't have any bumps or bulges or anything. And then the final one I showed you with just doing an overlap, but on the inside, is, again, that's a method I use a lot, especially with some of the smaller reed, 3 and down, because it is, I don't know, depending on the type of basket, but most of the time that's kind of what I use. Okay, so 4 methods. Questions? Anybody have questions? Was it helpful?
Yes, very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Christine. You're the one who asked for it, right? I think.
Yes, indeed.
If you guys have things that you want to see, let me know. You can, if you've got something right now, just drop it in the chat. For folks who are watching this on the replay, you can put it in your comments. If you want to drop me an email, it's owl@lorelea.com. So you can drop me an email, and these are fun. These are kind of, just trying to do some little tidbits of information and sharing it out there. So
thank you. I really appreciate it.
Coming out of the shadows there.
I am in the dark.
I see that. Well, it's sort of nice to see your face.
We turned the lights off so we wouldn't burn the batteries.
Gotcha. Sandy is been traipsing through the country in her RV. I think you guys are in Maine right now?
Yes, we just got here yesterday.
Okay. All right. Well, awesome. All right. I just saw somebody new join. We are just about to finish up, so hopefully you can watch us on the replay. But we talked about 4 joins. We talked about the combined, the English, the splice, I'll call it a splice join, and just a regular overlap. And so hopefully those help. Use them. Let me know if you try them out. Let me know how it works. And other than that, unless anybody has questions, I'm happy to take any questions.
No, I didn't get far enough in my basket to work
try
on
it. Okay. Which one do you think you're going to do, Christine?
Probably the join. Definitely not the English. I think I've kind of done more of the English style.
Oh, it's basket making.
But I definitely think I like the idea of using the crimper and trying to.
Yeah. And if you don't have a crimper, if you have any kind of
let's see, I have this one.
Treatment. Oh yeah, that will work. Just be careful when you crimp. Don't make sure that it's moist, so and flexible, and then gently crimp, right? You don't want to crack it. And so if it's not wet, and if you're too muscular on it, you could just crack it right in half. So make sure it's wet, and then give it a nice gentle squeeze. And you can use flat nose pliers. Those look like round nose pliers, anything that's going to just give you that bend in there. It's breaking the fibers a little bit so that they will bend without breaking, which is what you want on those.
Yeah, the needle nose, probably the smallest needle nose, like a Dollar General would work real well.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what these are called. Sandy, do you remember what these are called? They're very thin. They weren't needle.
Crimpers is what I remember.
Yeah, I think
Crimping.
that's what they were called. I got these from yep. Shoot. They vend at State Line, and they're usually up front for anybody who's been to State Line. Oh my gosh, I can't think of their names. They're big vendors. Oh, well, when I think about it, I will post it. I will see if I can find
North something,
Who is it?
North something. It's not North Carolina, but
No.
it's some sort of backwoods kind of name, country.
I will look it up, and I will post it. So if you guys want to get these, so that you know,
Maybe
but
it's on Amazon too.
yeah, I will look to see. I will find them, and I will post it. In case anybody wants them, you know, right? Some tools just make the job easier. I got this as a packing tool. So you can see it's got a curve. If you guys can see that, that's flat, and then there's a curve, so it curves like that, and it's a hand carved handle. This was from Vladimir. He's from Russia, and he makes tools, so he makes the steel shafts and that, and he always brings a bunch of different ones so that you can see which one feels good in your hand. You know, so it makes them different sizes. So one of my favorite tools is that, because it fits my hand really well. I checked a whole bunch of them, and this one fit my hand really well. And it's nice for packing. It's got a little bit of a curve, so you can use it to kind of lift things up. That I don't think you guys can get readily, but this definitely will, and I will put a link in for that. All right. Anything else you guys want to see? Again, you can drop me an email at owl@Lorelea.com. You can put a comment on Facebook or Instagram under Offerings of Wonder by Lorelea. If I've sent you an email and you're on my email list, you can send me an email that way as well. So just let me know. I've been really kind of working through a whole bunch of different handle wraps, so that we'll probably do a handle wrap next week. I am leaving tomorrow to go to the Tennessee Basket Association conference down at Pickwick Landings in Tennessee. And so I'm pretty excited. It is going to be my first conference that I'm teaching at. So that's pretty exciting. Got 4 classes down there. So wish me luck. Send me good wishes.
Yeah.
So excited.
That's really
for you.
cool.
Yeah. You know, I've been teaching a lot at guilds, and I have my own studio that I teach at, but this will be my first official conference. So I'm very excited about that. So I've got that. I've got that coming up. I've got one in Taylorsville. We're doing a little mini conference that I'm teaching at in September. And then also in September, I'm teaching in Xenia, Ohio at the, what do they call that? Heritage Basket Guild. So pretty exciting. So lots of good things coming up. If there are Zoom classes that you guys are interested in, let me know. I'm working on my schedule for the next few months of what to teach. So I still have my day job. So unfortunately, I can't teach during the day, during the week, but I do some evening Zoom classes, and I do weekends. So if there's something you guys are interested in, let me know. We'll get it on the schedule.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining, you guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. And if you're watching it on replay, leave me some comments. Let me know if it was helpful. And I will talk to you guys next week.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Take care, everyone.